Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Two Shot Tuesday. If you can see us, which I assume that you can, you'll recognize the gentleman. I guess that's on your far right. That's Rob Peets, our movie guy, truly our live event guy. And he's back this week to discuss with Jason and I a movie called The Bride. Jason, great to see you. And Rob, welcome back.
I tip
Rob, how
my
are you
hat to
doing?
the. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. We saw a movie on the weekend. It was called The Bride, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk the F out of it.
As usual, I did not see it, so I will ask many questions so that I can leave here thinking I have seen it. And the way we like to start these things off, Rob, just to familiarize you with the format, we do two shots during this show. So it can be two shots of anything or nothing. But yeah, it's your choice. That's how flexible it is.
That's great.
Barry, why don't you kick us off? What is your first shot of this healthy episode for you?
Yeah, this is a sober one. It's some of that pre-workout, the ground-up clitoris of Godzilla, and it tastes like fresh boysenberry, so I'm very excited about that. Rob, what have you got? Probably something similar. Very similar, if I know you.
I'm drinking a strawberry bubbly. That's basically where I'm at. Yep.
Good.
Nice. And I'm in support. I am drinking water with a lemon squeezy in a little travel bottle for some reason in case I want to go for a little walk around while you're talking about the show.
Well, that's your post-workout, right? I mean, you've already had a workout.
I did a workout.
Today.
You're right. So it's post-workout with lemon squeezy. Or
Cheers.
Not lemon. Cheers.
Chin chin.
All right, gentlemen.
Let's get
into
into
The Bride. Let's. I'm just going to turn you guys loose. Who would like to start off talking about this cinematic
I'll
feast?
I'll start. I was very excited about this movie, and Rob knows I was very excited. This was a Rob pick, though, but I was very excited. The trailer left me hopeful. I thought we were going to see something brand new. We saw something new, all right, but it was not anything all that interesting. Rob, why don't you take it from here?
Well, it's kind of a what if kind of situation. It's about Frankenstein, and what if Frankenstein was still alive 100 years after he was born, and he's kind of just out there doing his thing because he's able to be, and he is really, really needing a partner of some kind. The original Bride of Frankenstein never happened in this case, so he is now out there in 1930s Chicagoland looking for a bride, and he knows a doctor. He's been reading. He's a smart guy to some degree. He's a little smart. So he's been reading this particular doctor, her books on this stuff, and he thinks she can probably do this for him. So she comes to him, or he comes to her, and asks if she can help him get a bride. Basically, it's basically like the original movie to some degree. So a bunch of like coincidences and circumstances allow that to happen very quickly, which is kind of part of why this movie is a bit weird and a little bit understated in how it's been put together, but it just kind of happens, and we get this bride character that comes in, and she's quite chaotic and fun to watch, and the two of them are really fun together for the most part. But the movie has about 5 different plot lines going at the same time, which really makes it kind of a little bit too much. Barry and I think what I wanted was gangster version of a version of Frankenstein that lives in Gangsterville in the 30s in Chicago, gets a bride, and then they go on sort of a Bonnie and Clyde style thing where they rob banks, they do stuff, and they're always being chased because that's what the monsters are anyway. They're always being chased. So that was kind of a theme in this movie, but it didn't really do that. It was a bunch of other things. There was like sort of a detective story. There was like what else was there? There was like the story of the doctor who helped raise her from the dead. There was
this was a Maggie Gyllenhaal production, wasn't it? And who was in it? I didn't even really pay that close attention to it.
Yeah, it's
Christian Bale as the monster,
right? Christian Bale, yeah.
And I don't remember the bride. I've never seen her before, but she's like a Scottish actress.
Okay. Jessie Buckley. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, Jessie Buckley. That's right. And then Jake Gyllenhaal is shoehorned into this movie as well, Maggie's brother. He gets to play like a 1920s dancing vaudeville star.
Like superstar.
And Rob's right. There's like 5 different things going on in this movie, and none of them are particularly of interest.
None.
And the scenes are very flat. There's no emotion. The dialogue is very stilted. I don't remember a time that I've been to the movies recently where Rob has leaned over to me so many different times during the movie to comment on the scene we just watched.
Yeah,
like that's how it wasn't holding your attention, Rob, very much because you were commenting way more than you ever have because you were, I think, bored. And I was kind of bored too. Like if this movie is stitched together like Frankenstein's face, and it doesn't really hang together all that great. And frankly, I was just like, what is going on? This detective story that they shoehorned in with Penelope Cruz and this other kind of wanker guy that they paired him up with, there was zero chemistry between these two.
It was Peter Sarsgaard.
Zero. Like
played
nobody.
The other guy.
Yeah, we didn't care about anything that they were doing, any of their exchanges in the car. It was just so
there's a couple of
phoned
ties.
in.
There's a
It was
couple of
bad.
ties with them. Yeah, it wasn't great. There was some
Yeah.
ties with them to the main story. The detective has a tie, and the Penelope Cruz character, who's like a detective, but because she's a woman, she's not really being taken seriously, and that's all sort of part of this feminist uprising that happens after the bride becomes exposed. And that is very shoehorned in. That could have been a lot better. They could have just made that the story, made that the side story to the main love story between the two of them, and it would have been fine. But instead, they tossed in the detective, the woman scientist, and it just kind of becomes like we're here. Why are we even talking? Why are we with these detectives? I don't care about these guys. I want to see Frankenstein and the Bride. Do more Frankenstein and Bride stuff.
Did the do you think any of those were shoehorned in, like put in after maybe audiences reacted to a test screening and they went back in and needed some more stuff?
It's hard to
Possibly.
say. I mean, it's hard. It does feel like it's a 2 hour and 7 minute long movie. So maybe it was supposed to be a longer movie, but there was a couple of moments where I felt like that was out of
and
sequence.
you feel every minute of that 207.
They edited that out of sequence. Yeah, there was like, just a couple of moments of what? Why are we here? We just saw this. Shouldn't that have happened before that happened?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You mentioned it a few times during the movie, like there was too many conveniences.
Yeah,
like
a lot of them.
The detective overhearing critical plot information that, again, we weren't being shown the plot. We were being explained the plot throughout almost the entire movie. It was like a lot of talking and very little in the way of delivering the action. And so that was frustrating too. The whole thing was a mess. It just was just like a plate of spaghetti on the floor. Unfortunately.
This sounds like Primate, like when you explain Primate.
No, Primate was better than this.
Well, I'll take that. But my point being, you said it was like things were explained to you very quickly to kind of move things along as opposed to shown.
I would agree with that. I actually said this exact thing to Barry on the way out. To me, it was similar in a way. The other one was a lot more cohesive because it was so simple. But this is a much more
entertaining.
This is a much more complex story that they're trying to tell, and it doesn't really deliver in the end. However, that all said, it had beautiful moments, like visually beautiful moments, some great 1930s stuff in it. Some great period like costumes and pieces and moments. I thought Frankenstein was Christian Bale's Frankenstein was interesting. He was fun. He was an interesting version of that. And the Bride I thought was great. I wish there was more consistency there,
Right.
So,
did he have the bolts?
He didn't have the bolts, but he did have he did have a flat head, and he was stitched. Yeah. But it's a Warner Brothers back. Yeah, it's a Warner Brothers movie, so they couldn't really steal the Universal kind of look, right?
Bolts. Right.
But it's close enough
because
it was close.
Right.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's in the public domain, but not the Frankenstein with the bolts. I got it. Okay.
You got to pay up for the bolts, Jay.
Well, you know how many bolts Frankenstein has? 2 bolts on his neck, and in our show we do 2 shots. So
flawless. I mean, dude, you really are the maestro. Let's go.
Rob, kick us off. What have you got for shot number 2?
Strawberry bubbly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Barry?
I'm sticking with the pre-workout. Jay?
I got the post-workout. Gentlemen.
I love it.
Cheers.
Chin chin.
Here's to you guys. So yeah, I wouldn't rush out and see it. Also, another thing that Rob noticed was there's a shifting aspect ratio when you see this in IMAX. Some of it is an IMAX full screen, and then some of it isn't. And some of the stuff that is full screen, you're wondering why is it full screen? It's like a close-up of like Frankenstein in the car. It's like he's just driving, or he's just sitting there as a passenger. Like, it's like, why is this IMAX? But it just, like I said, it's a mess. A total, utter mess.
It is all over
I enjoyed
the place.
Primate so much better.
Yeah.
I'll give
I will.
Primate 10 out of 10, and compared to that, it's just slog.
Wow.
And Jay, you
Yeah.
would have felt every minute of that 207. In fact,
Yes.
I could see you getting up and saying, you know what, I'm out.
I'm good.
You would have been, yeah. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
bored. I mean,
I've seen
as much
enough.
as Rob said it looks fantastic, beautiful. They
Yeah.
spent money on the costume.
And the bride
It looked great.
bride is fabulous and all that stuff. She's great,
fun.
and she could have been
She's
awesome
the only thing that's
in
fun.
a better movie.
Yeah.
And I
And
believe
one
it-
more thing we should
Yeah.
touch on just really quickly. There was a cool plot device. They actually put Mary Shelley, the writer,
that was really
her
cool.
spirit is the one who inhabits the body of this bride woman. So she has like a dual personality. And she's
Yeah.
flipping back and forth between Mary Shelley, like 1818 Mary Shelley with her British accent, and then she flips back to being just an American girl from Chicago. So that was cool.
She's like a thesaurus. She actually so basically while she's alive, Mary Shelley is kind of a spirit, and she comes to the movie viewer as a spirit, talking in this pitch dark sort of 1810 looking kind of visual and stuff. And she's like, I want to make the real story. You know, I want to tell the real story. Like Frankenstein was just something I was kind of forced to do. I'm going to tell the real story. I'm going to do it for real. And she actually kind of inhabits this girl as she's alive, kind of puts herself into her, and she kind of is flashing in and out of being this Mary Shelley character back to herself again, who's also a bit of a crazy. She's a bit over the top as a character anyway.
Yeah.
It's probably like a flapper of that era or something, who's a little bit party girl.
So just to clarify for me, so Mary Shelley, the writer of Frankenstein, is in the book, and Frankenstein is a real monster, though. Like, how does that work? If she wrote the book about Frankenstein and then
it's all a fantasy. That's where there's no answers to any of this stuff. It's just
really. That seems like
I love the idea of Mary Shelley inhabiting the bride and sort of being a part of that personality, because it really does sort of like come out in erratic, fun ways that make sense.
Yeah.
But and the actress again portrayed that beautifully. Like, she was fucking great. But
she's flipping back and forth. It was good.
Yeah, she was.
It's
excellent.
like the dark half that Barry knows, and it's like the Stephen King character.
But that was
also
well done
in the book.
Jay. That was the only difference is that's a George R.A. Romero film, and that was well done. Versus this is just a steaming bowl of
drivel.
Anyway,
Well,
maybe there's one more thing we should add.
I wanted to add the one thing about we turned to there's a couple of musical numbers in here. They're not really singing, but they're dancing. And at one point I looked at them and I said, like, on the second number or something, like, are we watching Joker 2? This is like Joker 2. It's Harlequin and the Joker, but they're just people. But it's Frankenstein. And there was also a nod to what's the Mel Brooks movie again?
Blazing Saddles?
No.
Neither of those two?
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, right.
Where Christian Bale says "Putting on the Ritz" was the big dance number in that movie. But
well,
that was all.
I hear
just
this
like,
movie.
What?
He also does a fair bit of crying. The Frankenstein monster really shouldn't be crying. Like, he's a bit of a wimp. Like, he has one scene where he beats a couple of guys to death. That's great. That's what you expect from Frankenstein. And then a few scenes later, he's having a meltdown about something else. Like, my cheese sandwich is undercooked. It was something so stupid that you're like, well, what are we talking about here?
That didn't bother me so much. I didn't mind having emotion with that character.
That's good.
But
you shouldn't be crying, no one moping.
Why even connect the tear ducts when you're putting them back together?
You just leave those undone.
Leave them unplugged.
Now, before we get to star ratings, and I can kind of guess at Barry's. Hold on, hold that thought. I heard as we were going through the weekend when it debuted that it did not do well. Like, it quite underperformed expectations. So, people just got the word that just don't go see this movie on.
Well, Rob already had the word on our way to the theater. I was like, I'm so excited! It's getting great reviews. He's like, no, it's not. So
it's getting very average reviews. I think the problem is that I think part of why I really wanted to see it is because to me it seemed like an original idea, which you don't see anymore, right?
Yeah,
so totally. I was like, I'm on board for an original idea, and that was my selling point to Barry. Seems like an original movie. Why not? They deserve money if they're trying things, right? So,
yeah.
And it was original, but it was also kind of they could have just done. It could have just been better,
Yeah, it was just poorly executed, but they still get full marks for trying to do something original.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. let's go to star ratings then. Barry,
Yeah.
why don't you kick us off? Because I don't think you can hold that back any longer.
Ooh, you know what?
At 12 out of 7.
Yeah, it's not my usual glowing review. I usually like everything that I see, as you guys
do.
well know. But this one, I just felt I felt out of it because the scenes were just really flat. The dialogue was flat. The acting, aside from what we've already touched on, the bride being absolutely the standout. I mean, even Christian Bale, who's extremely skilled, he couldn't save this train wreck of a movie. It was just messy. And like
He
Rob said,
tried.
they were shoehorning way too many plots into this story. They could have just simplified it. They could have taken the primate approach, and it would have been very enjoyable. But they didn't. So
Get right to the end. Yeah, 100%.
yeah, sadly, I just it's boring, and it is very much like Joker 2, like Rob said. It's so that if you saw that, then avoid this one. I'm giving this one like it's a 1 out of 5. It's just bad. I
Lowest
will never
star
see it
rating
again.
ever on the show.
It's terrible.
That is
Terrible.
easily the lowest star rating I've ever heard you give in my life.
Yeah, I know, and it gives me no pleasure to do it.
I know, I could
I
tell.
gotta be honest with you, but
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
it sucked.
Rob, how about you?
I'll give you the real score. And this is the
Yep.
this is the real score. Out of 5, I would
I already
say
gave you the real score.
I would say this is probably a 2.5 or a 3, and I think it maybe a 3 because it is visually stunning. There is enough good acting in it from the bride and from Christian Bale here and there that I think you can sit back at home and watch it and be okay with it. You might split it into 2 parts, but I don't think it's worse than that. I think it's got enough good stuff in it. It is just a bit long and too many plot lines. That's it.
But I think you gave like Superman a 3-star.
No, I
So-
probably get
Yeah,
that.
this
more
isn't
like
this
3.5.
isn't tying up unless you saw
3.5.
a different
Okay.
movie than
That's
me.
a big difference between like, yeah, okay. I got
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
got
it's
it.
like to me, it's a 6. It's a 6 out of 10. It's like just above average, but not by much.
Well, then before we go, Rob, give us what is, instead of this Frankenstein movie, what's the best Frankenstein movie to check out for our viewers and listeners?
probably
you know
the original, just the original Universal Frankenstein movie. It was just a great movie. It's fun to watch. I just watched it last Halloween for the first time in a while.
All right.
Enjoyed it.
That's from the
It's very
30s,
short
though,
too,
right?
It's like an hour
Yeah.
long. Yeah, they're all very
Oh,
short.
that would be great to watch.
Yeah.
And Barry,
Yeah,
why
it's-
don't you take us out? Let us know what's coming up because I know you guys have
Yeah.
got some other movies coming up that you're going to see. Maybe you'll review them on the show here.
Yes, we will. We have a couple scheduled for April at the time of this recording. So we have nothing more for this month. We had talked about going to see Hail Mary, but that is just not lining up with our individual schedules. But I think, Rob, you and I are going to go check out the Super Mario Galaxy. And I think there was one other one
Yep.
you wanted to see in April.
Yeah, maybe I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it's some
The Mummy. We're going to wait and
Right.
see if the Mummy's
potential
in
with
it.
the mummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'll wait.
I mean,
so
it's,
you're going to
it
wait.
looks
to
it
get
looks a
some
little
reviews.
sketchy. We'll have to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kid mummy. So I don't know.
Kid Mummy.
What is going on? I mean, originality, fine, but this is...
Yeah.
Well, they're trying
All
something
right.
new, Barry. We got to go see it. They're trying something new.
I'm still giving it 1
Give
out of
them our
5,
money.
Robbie.
Give them our money.
Yeah,
All
1 out of
right.
5, 3 out of 5. We're somewhere in the middle. If you take our 2 scores, I think it's still
probably-
not anything you want to spend your money on.
It's probably a 2.5. Really, honestly, at the end of the day, it's probably a 2.5. It's average, very average.
Okay. Well, I won't see it either way. Thank you, gentlemen. Rob,
Good.
thanks for being here again. As always,
Thanks, Rob.
your insight
Absolutely.
is that's the word on the street. Whatever you give
Right.
on a movie, that's the word on the street. That's
It
what
is,
I've been
yeah.
hearing. Barry, a pleasure to see you as well. And
You too, Jay.
we look forward to seeing our viewers and listeners again next week.
Amen.
Thank you for listening to Two Shot Tuesday. The show is produced by Barry and I and edited by me. If you have yet to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, please take a second to do so now. It helps us grow, and it helps new audiences to find the show. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Shot Tuesday, and on Twitter at Two Shot Tuesday Podcast. Stop by, give us a follow, leave us a comment, and share your favorite episodes. If you have a question you'd like featured on the show, you can send us a text at 647-486-4848. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.